See, everything's plain Jane. We've looked over this already. There's just a signature page here at the end. This is solidifying the 500K that we're going to give them. What are you guys building? Where will this go? Where do you think it'll go? And yeah, what's your vision and all of that? So I just printed out Soshi's legal docs here. I'm excited to go over to them. There are some really great guys. I'm excited for y'all to meet them. This is solidifying the 500K that we're going to give them and get them on their way to building their startup. Two Northeastern roommates, and they've been building for quite a while. And I don't know where they're sitting right now, but I'm going to go find them, give them their documents. Okay, so they're right there. I'm going to actually surprise them. I don't know if they know that I'm coming today. Of course, we've been talking over the last couple of weeks, but I should tell them that they have it ready to sign right now. Mike, Eli, I have your closing docs.
Let's go. Let's go.
I know we got to keep it down because there's other people working around here, but we decided to have you on board, so let's get something signed. See, everything's plain Jane. We've looked over this already. And yeah, there's just a signature page here at the end.
All right. Here you go. Got the Link Ventures pen.
Link Ventures pen.
Signing. Yeah, that'll go ahead and sign here.
Let's go.
Yeah. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the office, and let's get building. So yeah, I think it'll be cool if I'm able to, or I guess if they're able to give some context as to how this deal went down, their story, how they met each other, and they're going to be posting a lot of content in the future, so they'll talk about that a little later on in the video if there are some people that you want to follow and follow along their journey with. So yeah, can you guys talk a little bit about your journey through this whole startup realm and how you met me and how this led to funding and what you're doing today?
Yeah. Funny story, we met our very first day on campus at Northeastern on a campus tour. His mom actually was the one who introduced us two together, and then we figured out we were in all of the same classes just by pure coincidence, and we were the same major, played the same sports, and turned out we were both interested in entrepreneurship too from our experiences in high school. And we didn't come into college with a lot of computer science, like coding experience, but we did some clubs together and even did our first internship at the same company. So we started living together and just started spending like all day with each other 24/7. And in November of our senior year, we went out to Silicon Valley, where we did a Northeastern program there, and we that's where kind of things started.
So we were in San Jose. Actually, we were there just for a few months. We went in initially with a different idea, but like they basically told us all our ideas were trash. We'd iterated probably through 20 or so throughout that 4-month period, and eventually kind of stumbled on one at the time, something to do with the intersection between content creation and then tech. And then Mike found this hackathon that looked pretty interesting. It was an AI hackathon, world hackathon hosted by Y Combinator, which is a big startup accelerator, and then also Supabase, which is a database technology company. They're growing very big. They co-hosted this in San Francisco, and Mike was like, yo, let's check this out. So we saw the application, we applied. The next week or so we got in, and we were like, let's build out the first prototype, let's build out the first feature for this new idea that we had. And yeah, we ended up competing and actually ended up winning. Let's go. Got that dub. And then we took that full time when we talked a little bit with the Supabase team. Paul, the CEO of Supabase, was like, yo, like, I think this is a really cool idea. This is something I would personally use, and we see this actually being like a business idea, not just like a hackathon project. And we were just like, yo, like let's do this thing. So we got serious about it, talked about it. after 3 weeks of failing my classes second semester as a senior, we decided to go all in, and I couldn't focus on my classes at that point. And then fast forward to maybe just like a month ago or a month and a half ago, we met KJ. And
I guess I can take the story from here. I saw Eli's post on LinkedIn, and it was just a tool that I felt like I wanted to use. I was trying to get back into the social media game and trying to post more, and I'm like, okay, there'll be a big help. But little did I know that they were just two people building this, and it was a hackathon project coming to life. And reached out. It actually turned out that Eli watched my videos, and so it was already a pretty warm intro. And from there, I guess Michael's watched the videos too. I had an event going on the day after, and they spent pretty much the whole day with me, and I got to know them pretty well as people, as founders, and all of this stuff started moving pretty fast. I don't know what it was from your guys' perspective.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely happened super organically, and I think that's the biggest reason why we ended up going with Link in the first place, is because KJ was obviously a super warm presence, communicated a lot with us throughout the whole process. We were already working out of here for at least like a few weeks, deciding whether we wanted to just bootstrap, apply to YC, do something else, and then at some point the deal kind of just formed naturally when we said we were kind of interested in raising money. And I don't know, I think it happened very quickly and organically, which I personally really liked, and it didn't feel too forced in any way. And our advisor was like, yo, there's money on the table, just take it. So
KJ invited us out to an event in MIT where we spent like the whole day with him, got to know him really well, and I just loved everything we were seeing and hearing about him and Link. And then he kindly invited us to start working out of the Link office, which is where we are right now. It's a beautiful space with a lot of smart people, and we like got that vibe as soon as we came in, and just really enjoyed working out of here. And then met different partners at the firm and just liked everyone we met. So things just followed from there.
I guess outside of your advisor saying just to take the money, what ultimately got you comfortable from your like bootstrapping mindset to, hey, let's take some funding and let's build with some institutional money?
I think there's a lot of different reasons why you would get VC money or investor money over just traditional bootstrapping. I think one really straightforward point is that the sole fact that you are raising money and successfully can raise money, doing so puts you ahead of 95% of other competitors who are just like indie hackers who are just working on side projects, and they're hoping to make a small amount of money. They have a smaller vision. Typically, when you end up raising VC money, they expect you to grow this to $1 billion company, right? But if you're just an indie hacker, you might have the mindset that, hey, like I'm just gonna make a solid 10K a month MRR, have that level of autonomy and kind of just keep it there and be chill. And I think that's super great. I think there's a lot of pros and cons to both mindsets. But if you're trying to take a huge portion of the market, and you're trying to scale at that level and build something that's, billions of dollars, everyone's going to use it, everyone's going to know your name, like you need to raise capital. So I think, just like putting yourself in a different pool just by raising capital is super huge. Another thing we were thinking about is just the sole fact that like we're working on AI social media marketing agents. It's not something that's like the most, like no one's ever thought of this, right? It's like we were innovating in like a new space in tech that is becoming newer, but also like increasingly more adopted, and it's very fast paced. So capital gives you a huge boost in being able to differentiate yourself from the get-go and just move at a faster pace than a lot of your competitors.
And I guess, what would you say to some founders that are potentially scared to take the leap of faith, to go and just build something? I know, Eli, you were like, you had to completely drop out of school. I know, Michael, you were like fortunate enough to be. Like,
I'm taking a gap semester. So
yeah, sure, we'll see. But like, what would you say to someone trying to take that leap of faith?
Yeah, I think if you've ever been like at least slightly interested in the idea of not getting stuck in the like 9 to 5 paycheck to not necessarily paycheck to paycheck, but just the corporate like regular life, I think if that is for you, that's totally fine. But if you do have those thoughts and it is something that you think about maybe very often, I think especially at a young age, I really encourage people to just go for it and try to do it, because that's kind of how I felt. If I wasn't going to try to take this leap of faith and take this risk now, I was probably never going to do it, because as you grow older, you only get more and more responsibilities on your plate and more financial burdens or whatnot as you get married and have a family and all that. So now's the time, college, fresh out of college. Not saying it's not hard. I think it was pretty hard for me in my last semester of college, just seeing like all my other classmates look for jobs, find jobs, and just like have like that sense of security while I was just like working on Soshi with Eli, just grinding for the whole day in our dinky apartment. But I think right now is a really good time to start building. The AI wave is real, and there's a lot of great investors that want to put money into smart, talented, driven individuals. And if that's you, I think right now is like one of the best times in probably the history of startups to take that chance. Yeah.
I'm going to double down on that because that is a super good point. The fact that you could not build a solo startup probably to $1 million, $10 million ARR, but now you can with AI agents. But yeah, that wasn't possible just a few years ago probably, or at least a lot more challenging. And even, and maybe this is like a controversial take too, but the job market is so terrible right now. And actually, I would argue that if you're like an ambitious builder, you know your skills and you enjoy growth, learning, all that kind of stuff, then like just do a startup. It's not as big of a leap of faith as like you might think it is. The job market's trash anyways. You're better off just starting your own company, having that level of autonomy and being able to work on it as much or as little as you want. But obviously if you work on it more, you're going to be more successful. So I don't know, I advocate a lot for taking the leap of faith.
Yeah, and I think we'll talk a lot more in the future, and we'll have like a proper sit down and a proper podcast. I just wanted to intro you guys to my audience. And right now, I know, Eli, you're trying to like post more like online. You're using your own product, growing on X, but then you also want to start a YouTube channel. So where can people find you?
I wish I could say it was all the same channel on every platform, but it's not. It's more or less Elijah Muraoka. Yeah, if you just different variations, but I'm sure
I'll put the links in the description.
Yeah, if you search my name, it'll probably come up something like that. If you spell my name correctly on all these platforms. But yeah, I'll be on X, I'll be on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, kind of just posting as much as possible, building the personal brand, but also just building the Soshi brand and kind of proving, right, that Soshi actually works, and we're learning the ins and outs of content creation and using those learnings to put into our AI agent and kind of pulling together all this creator knowledge to make the best AI agent. And yeah, it's going to be a live case study, so you guys can follow along. Okay,
so we're at the end, but finally, I think the biggest question is, it's like, what are you guys building? Where will this go? Where do you think it'll go? And yeah, what's your vision and all of that?
Yeah, we're building an AI social media marketing agent. We're gonna power this thing by all the best Gen Z engineers and creators across the country. And we're going to pull all that knowledge into our marketing agent, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so basically what we're building is for founders, startups, businesses, creators, influencers who want to grow their brand online on different social media platforms to really drive organic social media growth to their product or service. Basically giving them an AI agent to do that on autopilot. So if you don't know the ins and outs of social media marketing, don't have the time to do it, or don't have the money to hire a dedicated team, Soshi is meant to be that AI agent that can handle that for you. Yeah, you can find us at Soshi.io. Right now we're in kind of a beta phase, but soon we'll be launching our 1.0 to the public.
Yeah. All we have right now is the hackathon project, actually, but that's live, free to use. You guys should check it out. We'll be launching the full version probably in a month or so.
So that was the Soshi team. Happy to have them on board in the Link Ventures portfolio. If you want to see more of them, just let me know in the comments, and they'll gladly participate in any videos like this. As always, stay positive, stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next one.